And so we try and make sure that we link them up with either somebody in the same house or somebody in the same class or with their group. And we make a lot of provision around how we manage those transitioning arrangements. And that's something that Chris takes the lead on. But safe to say, because of the numbers that we're dealing with as an intake throughout the year or at the beginning of a school year, we're able to manage that. We've got 9 students transitioning into school from, this September. That's not a huge number, so we can manage those transitions very carefully, and with the key worker system and helping those young people to find somebody who they can identify with and team them up with is part and parcel of that process.
Okay, Ben has asked, we talked about a 50-50 split between boarding and day students. Can you give the benefits of boarding? Yes,
I think, and we'll both chip into this one. I think we would all say that there are huge benefits to the residential side of things. For a start, it's unstructured time. We know that lots of our young people struggle with unstructured time, and it gives us an opportunity to see what those difficulties might be. We can fill that unstructured time with lots of good activities and experiences. We can help young people to be socially active with other members of the school community who are not in their tutor group. We can get them involved in activities on-site, off-site. We can look at how we support their quality of life surveys and help them to do the things they want to do. We can help them to generalise skills on the school site and off the school site. We can help to prepare them to be more independent young people by working through aspects of the Independence Plus curriculum. So, for example, using community facilities safely, travelling in public, those sorts of things. And we've got a lot of school staff on site. And we know that many of our youngsters, when they're at home, are quite either geographically and or socially isolated. So we've got a ready-made group of young people for them to be part of, people who've got a wide range of interests and expertise to support a whole load of activities. And we can help develop those independent skills so that in a way that I think is sometimes quite tricky for parents, where if everybody else is doing them in their house, then it's easier for us to get other boys to do that. And I think it's all part of that preparation for adulthood. So I think removing transitions at the beginning and the end of the day, there's a whole host of reasons. Rob, I'm sure there's others that I haven't even mentioned.
It's having a peer group, it's having being able to, some of the boys come quite from a wide geographic areas, having those peers to socialise with after school. And 8 years ago, I came from a big secondary school, and the understanding of residential carers and things. I was on a steep learning curve. I think lots of people could look at it as a very traditional boarding environment, but it couldn't be further from that. Residential care is as much a profession as teaching maths or teaching English, and what those staff can do with young people is incredible, and the progress they can make. Lots of the young people, sometimes people on the borders of that distance or not quite sure, and I know we definitely saw a day place. And we have more people wanting to change to a residential place. We have nobody wanting to change from a residential place to. I think it's something you really need to think through before you start the process, because when you do start to sway to live, it's very difficult to swap from one thing and your
not from our point of view,
but from a local authority point of view, and the justification and get an education, health and care plan, the working day curriculum, extended school day as part of that provision right from the very beginning is really important. So that's a decision I would advise you make very early in the process. I think the residential staff are highly skilled at doing the residential side of things with the family, working with the family. The communication is really strong.
I think looking back, if you look back through some of the previous, we get a COVID aside, an annual Ofsted inspection for residential care, and those reports will give you a flavour of the sorts of things that go on and how they're viewed externally. But we know that that's a big ask to parents to give up their young people, and that's a family sacrifice, and that's a lot of trust you place in us for that. What I would say is that consider the longer term benefits of that throughout a young person's life, if you're able to do that.
And it's not rigid, you know, some parents pop up on a Wednesday and go out for dinner or sit and have a cup of tea. Do you see what I mean? It couldn't be further from what you could probably imagine it would be as a traditional school design.
Nice bedrooms as well.
Lovely bedrooms, lovely facilities, amazing staff, amazing facilities to use, amazing things going on outside the school day. Yeah, you have to work out and do with my kids to go out, to be for sure. A great package here, do you see what I mean? And I think, you know, it's lots of young people sort of come up on a Monday and go home on a Friday, so they wait for a short part of the week, but it's not for everybody. And like we were saying, it's a big leap of faith, a big trust. Young people here are very, very happy to support that. Really, that house down the it's about the residential thing as well as they go in and they speak to young people, they speak to the families. Very, very happy with the surroundings of the city.
Hopefully that takes care of that one, Dean. How else we do?
We've got, I think it's 4.
Okay, let's keep them going.
What foods are offered at lunchtimes, and do you have a variety of foods for the eaters? And is there an option to bring their own lunches?
Vegetarian food. We have an amazing canteen at school with some amazing staff. It's Mark, Jane and Manon, and they are very, very flexible with the food that we choose. Lots of our boys are very fussy eaters. They like lots of yellow food, and some of them don't like things touching each other, and they only eat one type of food and things like that. Lots of the young people have a much broader palate when they leave us than when they come. Not saying all of them, some of them stick to the rice and chicken or all the way through, but we can cater for those whole range of taste and those range of interest for those. Like I was saying, the 3 staff in the kitchen are amazing. All the boys get an individual birthday cake, and you know, it's all very, very lovely. And I think as the staff eat with the young people, sit together, we try and model that good behaviour, we try and broaden that horizon. They can't eat. But yeah, we do have a couple of young people that still bring that packed lunch. They can sit and eat that with the other young people as well. That works for us because the food is so good. It doesn't create a problem with the other young people because everyone's very happy with what they're eating. So it's not like, oh my word, I've got that horrible school dinner, so that's not fair that they've got that packed over there. Everyone's very happy with what they've got. It's all varied and it can be produced.
I think there's always a meat option, there's a vegetarian option, there's a range of vegetables, there's salads. Some of the boys like a sandwich made, there's fruit, there's puddings,
Meats where it's needed.
So on a daily basis, there's always options there, and it can be hot or cold. So it's I think it's something that we'll try and put some sample menus up on the website so people can get a sense of that. It also looks beautiful as well and tastes lovely, and the boys. I don't think we have any complaints about the food at all. No, I think that's not bad going with teenage boys.
Standing agenda drives on our house meetings each week and our institute voice meetings, and the feedback is always.
Okay, hopefully that's a ringing endorsement of Mark and his team.
What support do you have for children that have all the knowledge in their head but struggle to get it on paper? For example, IT programs, Dragon software, naturally speaking. Sort of thing.
Not sure. Chris might be.
Yeah, no, it's Chris probably well, Dean Auto is because he's our behind the camera. We have access, you know, to all those things. Not lots of our boys need Dragon software. Dean, we have got some. We have used it.
We do, but it's not often used.
Not often used, so that's all available. We have the way exam concessions work in year 10, 11, sixth form. Whenever you do your GCSE with us, it's about ways of working. So you're not just allowed to have extra time or use a keyboard or use a laptop just for that exam. So we're very well resourced with laptops and all of the software that young people need.
So if they're used to working in a particular way with particular levels of support, then that can be evidenced and used.
And that would be effectively the way.
And on a daily basis, we put that support in place to help young people get their ideas down on paper or type or whatever it is, so that they're effective. And what they're doing.
Interlink service have lots to do with that. Very easy help with that as well.
Okay, Dawn has asked, where a tribunal is unavoidable, do you prefer to be consulted following tribunal with type of school agreed, or prior to tribunal persuaded names following an assessment visit?
Yes, so we don't want anybody to name us without us being fully involved in the process, because you need to know that we won't offer a place until we've done an assessment. So if you've got a tribunal in 3 weeks' time, you can't name us because we won't have done our due diligence by going through our assessment process. Local authorities will know that because we're very strong on telling local authorities that we won't offer places unless we've been through that process. So you can name a type of school, a specialist school for young people with autism spectrum difficulties. You can name a type of school, such as, but you can't actually name us. But we don't, it's not helpful for us to be blindsided and just referenced in paperwork that comes to us, because we won't agree with it, we won't support it. We need to know what's going on, we need to understand your process and timelines. So our advice would be, don't trigger those deadlines around tribunals unless you've spoken to us, because they may come round, the deadlines for evidence may come round before we're able to do our assessment, and then that would leave you in a bit of a pickle.
Okay, yeah, we've got one more question in the queue. My son, this is from Pip. My son is moderately hearing impaired and manages well with hearing aids. I suspect even easier in small classes. Would the school be happy managing this?
Yes, I mean, I think what we have to look at is what the needs of all the young people are on an individual basis. If it's something we feel happy and confident we can manage, and we can make those adjustments, then we're more than happy to do that. There may be certain things that are beyond what we're able to do, but we'll look at that on a case-by-case basis. Hopefully those accommodations can be made. We've got a number of young people here with different medical conditions, and we make the necessary adjustments just quietly and carefully and just get on with it. And that's what we would always endeavour to do. But we'd also, have that need to talk openly, honestly about what's practically possible and what isn't.
I think we've answered every question.
We've still got a lot of people there. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody. Yeah, thank you so much for your attention over the last just over an hour and a half. We really appreciate you giving up the time to spend with us. As I say, we would have loved to have had you here. Not possible at the minute, but hopefully that's at least save you a bit of travel time, and you've got a little bit of an insight into what the environment looks like, what we can offer, a bit about the culture of the school, a bit of our ethos around collaborating with families and with quality of life being at the heart of everything that we do. And our focus on working with families as much as we can in support of the young people and for the families, siblings included. So we hope you found it helpful. I'm sure there'll be lots of follow-ups and you might think of questions 7:30 tonight or 3 o'clock in the morning. Ping them through and we'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. Just please, we ask your patience. And I know some of you have already been very patient. I'm happy to be nagged, Rob's happy to be nagged, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. But we have got a lot of referral cases on our books already. Rob, anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
Thank you very much for coming this afternoon, and hopefully speak to you all soon.
Thanks very much, and we look forward to speaking to you again in due course. Many thanks. Thanks very much, Dean, for all your technical assistance behind the scenes. Thanks very much. Bye now.